In this video, we're going to take a look at the most important play in all of football. Let's film study. Week 9, 2024 season, we've got the Chargers against the Browns, and here is the most important play in all of football. It's the punt. Why is it the most important play in all of football? It's because the punt nets 40 yards on average. No other offensive play can do that. And it's often overlooked and underappreciated, but we're going to take a look today at why the punt is so important and how we can understand better. Okay, so the first thing we want to look at is what type of punt formation are we set up in. Now, the Chargers are in what's called a tight punt formation. In high school and college, you're starting to see a lot more of what's called the spread punt formation, and that's when like everybody's spread out, and it's more of a cover-based punt. But especially when you're backed up close to your own end zone, it's really important that you protect first before you cover. So this is the traditional tight punt formation. All right, now what that means is you've got 5 guys up here on the line of scrimmage. Okay, you've got your guards, your tackles, your center, your snapper. All right, and then you've got these wings that are also very tight. And we'll look at it from the other angle, and you'll see how tight they actually are and where it derives its name, tight punt. All right, now from the Browns' perspective, they're obviously on the return side of this. We're going to take a look at how we can know exactly which side they're trying to return this ball to, if they're going for the block, etc. Now, on this, there's a telltale sign. There are 2 jammers down here, okay, or 2 corners called jammers often. All right, and this guy is called the gunner. Right now, his job is to get down the field as fast as possible and force the ball carrier, the returner, to move laterally. He wants to basically slow him down for the rest of his guys to catch up and fan the field and make the tackle. But in this case, you can tell that the Browns are set up for a left side return here because they got the two jammers down here. All right. Now we'll watch a little bit from this angle, and then we'll go to the other angle. All right. The next thing you can tell, the next thing that gives away which side this ball is being returned to is this guy here. Okay. So he's going to be the guy that leaves. He's basically the personal protector for the returner. Okay. So what he's going to do is he's going to get out ahead of everybody to the side of the return and pick up the most dangerous first guy that shows up. All right. He doesn't have a specific guy to block. He's going to pick up whoever leaks through, whoever's the most dangerous. Now, right now, you can tell this guy is the most dangerous because he's farthest down the field. He represents the biggest threat to the returner. All right. So he should try to block him. Now, which way is he going to block him? He's going to try to block him in. All right. The reason he wants to block him in is because this return is set up to come to this sideline. All right. Outside to the left. All right. So you can see the guy that left early is trying to pick up the most dangerous. He's got a hold of him now. Now, what he wants to do is he wants to engage with him and then work his hips up the field this way. All right. What that does is it forces this cover guy to run around the long way, run around behind him. What he doesn't want, and what none of these guys on the return team want, is their blocking assignment to cross their face to the side of the return, because that gives them a shorter distance to get there. All right. So you can see once he engages right here, now he's going to try to work his hips up the field this way to try to make the cover guy go around him the long way. And he starts off by doing a fairly decent job. Starts to lose it a little bit, but that's a pretty good block. All right. Now down here at the bottom, the reason that we have 2 jammers down here at the bottom is because this guy is the biggest threat for a return to the sideline. So they're going to try to cancel him with 2 guys. All right. And they do an okay job with that. Now they're forcing him in, again, away from where the return is, because the return wants to come to the sideline. They do a good job shielding him there. All right, now let's go to the other angle, and we'll see how Hassan Haskins, the running back from out of Michigan, makes this tackle. One thing I want you to notice from this angle is look how many guys that are real contributors on the field are on this play, right? Here's one of our starting defensive ends, or at least in the rotation. Here's our backup running back, Hassan Haskins. Here's one of our starting or our rotating inside linebackers. That's Junior Colson. Over here, you've got Dan Henley, who's a starter, maybe if not their best defensive secondary player, the second best. And 43, I can't remember his name, but he also plays linebacker quite a bit in the rotation. So these are all guys that are important on this team. This isn't just made up of a bunch of backups. This is an important play, and that's why these guys are out here. All right, so here's a tight punt formation, and here you can see why it's called tight punt. All right, now the way that this works, the way that they decide who they're blocking and how they block this is they count outside in, okay? So we'll take him out of it right now. 31 is our PP, our personal protector. Okay. He's going to pick up anything that gets leaked through the middle. But if we start out here on the outside, we count one. All right. Now that's Hassan Haskins. So the wing has number 1. He's going to block him. Colson is the tackle. He's going to block number 2. There's number 2. All right. 45 will block number 3, who's lined up right over Colson. And because they're overloaded to the right side here, 1, 2, 3, 4 of these guys on the right and only 3 on the left, the center will get a call from the PP that will tell him he's going to block to the right. Okay, so the center will pick up, or the snapper will pick up number 4 to the right here. All right, now that means 31, the PP, is looking for something leaking through the middle. There's really no one for him specifically to block, because if we count the left side, Henley's got 1, 43's got 2, 83's got 3. They're all blocked. Okay. So the rule is we help with our inside hand, but our assignment is to block our number to the outside. Okay. So watch this. Now, we said that the Browns are setting up a return to the sideline, okay, the right sideline as we're looking at it now. So I want you to watch what happens to Colson right here. All right, Colson's the tackle. He's sort of the point of focus for the initial holdup of this, because if he's slow to get out there, he's usually a contained guy or an important guy in coverage here. If he's slow to get out of here, he's also going to kind of jam up everybody else that's trying to fan the field to that side. So that's the reason they bring 2 guys to block him right here, and they do a great job inside and outside of holding him up. He cannot get out of there, and they lose an important cover guy to that side of the field. So again, the strategy here is we got 2 guys to handle the gunner outside to the side of the return. We got 2 guys to handle the tackle to that side, because he's typically a good cover guy and an important point of focus. All right. This guy, you can see, this is what I called the PP, or the most dangerous man blocker for the returner. He's going to go ahead and peel out of there right now and go set up and make sure he gets the first thing that leaks through and block it to the inside to give him that sideline for the return. All right. So you can see here, Colson gets held up. He's pretty much jammed up the whole play. Now, Haskins is the guy that makes the play. I want you to watch what happens here. So his hold-up guy, his blocker, is doing a good job forcing him inside, okay? So Haskins knows he's got to get back outside. The best way to do this is to stack, okay? When I say stack, that means once he releases out of here, he's going to get out ahead of his cover guy or his blocker, right? And then he stacks him like this vertically. See, now the only way this guy can block him is to run into his back. So now Haskins has a really good angle. He doesn't have to worry about this guy regaining position on him, and he can be free to the ball. Now, he needs to also be concerned that he doesn't get out leveraged to the outside. See how he slows down right there to let the gunner go inside of him, because he is essentially the contained guy on this. All right. So he does a good job stacking, and then he works his way to the outside. Obviously, he doesn't want to get too wide. He needs to be as wide as the widest, though. So he just plays off the back of this original jammer, slides to the outside, and makes sure he can't get to the sideline. And that's a nice job there by Hassan Haskins, the running back. All right, so this is a play that often we go to commercial on, and nobody ever cares about. But this is, without a doubt, and any football expert or any football guy will tell you, this is the most important play in all of football, because of the net yardage that is associated with it. Now, question, does anybody know what the heck this logo is? This is at the Browns field, and this apparently is called a brownie, but I have no idea what it's supposed to be. It looks like a little gremlin. If anybody knows the answer to that, please leave it in the comments. I would love to know. Or if anybody just has a thought or a guess as to what it is, I think that would be pretty entertaining as well. Till next time.